Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this HP Omen laptop. This is model 15-DC1007TX. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is use a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that, put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 4 back here, then we got 2 here, and then we got 2 at the bottom as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove all these screws. The 2 back here in the middle are longer, it appears. Okay, so keep that in mind if you do happen to mix them up. Okay, let's go ahead and get all the rest of the screws out. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computers, so keep that in mind. By the time you see this video, I most likely won't have the computer on hand, so take the video as it is. And yeah, alright, so let's see how we can pop this open. This design does seem a little tricky. Let me try with a suction cup first, because sometimes that makes things a little easier. So I'll try over here, and wow, that actually worked really well. So if you don't have a suction cup, what you could also do is use 2 pieces of strong tape and just have them meet at the middle, and then you can use that as a pull tab. Okay, so anyways, that worked really well. This is pretty dusty inside, so I should clean it up. The customer told me that their screen isn't showing up, so what we're gonna do, I don't know why this thing is down here. Maybe it shouldn't have been so easy to peel up. I have a feeling that this used to be like here or something, because I can see these little dots on this piece of plastic. So this, I think, used to actually be like this, covering the RAM or something, and the customer took it apart themselves and moved it. So I don't know if the cover should have been that easy to remove or not, but it did come out pretty easily. Okay, then there's a thermal pad here, which I think should be right there, but again, I don't know. The customer did this on their own, so I'm gonna peel this thermal pad up, and I think it's supposed to go right here. Okay, it looks like it fits perfectly there. So we're gonna go ahead and put this there. If I'm wrong, just let me know, and then I'll have to let the customer know. But it looks like this fits perfectly right there, so I'm assuming that's where it goes. Alright, so anyways, there's the CPU, or yeah, right there, the GPU or graphics card here, and they are soldered to the motherboard, so you can't change them. There's the RAM here. We're going to pull these 2 tabs to the side. It pops up, then we can go ahead and pull this back. This is a 16 gig stick of RAM, PC4-2666V. If you want to increase your performance, because they're only using 1 stick, it's a good idea to get a second matching stick. So get another 16 gig PC4-2666V. Alright, if you don't want to spend that much, you can get 2 8 gig sticks as well. Here's the motherboard model number, DAG3DCMBCC0 revision C. Okay, and then there's model G3DC. Okay, so we're not sure why, but this laptop, it powers up, but nothing comes on the screen. So we're just gonna take a quick look at the internal hardware. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. Let's go ahead and pop out the battery. You don't actually have to pop out the battery unless you're going to be messing with the screen, LCD or LVDS connector. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove that. Or if you're a little clumsy and you want to be extra safe, you can remove the battery just to be safe. Okay, I believe on this model it actually uses the battery as the BIOS or CMOS real-time clock battery. So keep that in mind. If you take this out, it's likely going to reset your BIOS and the date and time will get reset. Okay, I only see those 4. Yep, there's only 4 screws. After you lift it, then you can pull it back like this. And here you can see the battery model number, SR04XL. Okay, there's also an HP spare part number here for the battery, 917724-855. Okay, I think I have a customer outside, so I might have to go real quick, and I'll be back. All right, anyways, I'm going to clean the dust out of here in that time. So let me go do that. We'll get a thumbnail for this. Okay, and I'll see you guys in a bit. All right. All right, so I'm back. Cleaned out this a little bit. All right. There's still a little bit of stuff there that kind of wouldn't come out, but all right, it's cleaner now. Cleaned out the fans. All right. So let's go over the connections inside of here. Actually, let's remove the M.2 SSD. Okay, so there's the M.2 SSD here. Sorry, it's so wobbly. Okay, this is a PCIe NVMe. At least I think it is. All right, pop it up just like that. There's a thermal pad underneath. And does it say? Yes, it is an NVMe. So this is an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. You can actually upgrade to any PCIe NVMe SSD. Okay, so we're going to put that back there. All right, we're just going to quickly go over what's inside. And if we're lucky, hopefully it was just the RAM that was the issue, but it could also be the screen. The screen is likely going to be a much more difficult piece to get to because I don't see the LCD cable here. So yeah, anyways, there's these metal brackets. It looks like this metal bracket is held on top here. I don't know if we have to take the whole heat sink out or what. Oh, I see. The LCD connector is underneath there, which that sucks. Hopefully we're not going to have to do anything with that. We got these two. Oops, I should probably zoom out a bit because I don't have much room on my desk now. So we have these two connectors, or this one connector here, which is for the speakers. The wires run along here, and then the red wire runs along down here all the way to the other speaker, of course. All right, we have a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. Okay, let me see if I can show you this. Let's move some stuff out of my way. Okay, so 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. The connector is down there. You flip that latch up and you can pull it out. But let's go ahead and see. Yeah, we do have to lift it from that side. So let's go ahead and flip that latch up. And then you might need to use some tweezers or pliers or something because the connector is kind of far in there. So you grab that and you can kind of wiggle and pull this out. Okay, there we go. And let's go ahead and lift the hard drive up so it comes up just like this at an angle. All right, and then you can go ahead and slide these little feet out. So there's no screws holding these brackets on. You can actually transfer them over to a new 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. You can switch it. You can upgrade this to an SSD if you want. To remove this connector, it can be a little tough. If you pull this, it might just separate this layer. So what I do is after I pull it back a little, you can see these pins here. I get my fingernail in there and I use that to help pull it. All right, so just like that on both sides, and there we go. Connector comes off nice and easy. All right, anyways, we're gonna put this back in there. Okay, let's see what else. We got this little connector here for the, that's just for the USB port here, as well as the indicator lights. The charge port is right there and it plugs into this big connector here. I'm not going to mess with that. You got the fan connector here and the other fan connector on this side right here. You got this larger cable that goes underneath the motherboard for the USB port and the headphone and microphone jacks. All right, all the other ports on the back are soldered into place, and that's just about it. There's one more connector here, and I'm assuming this is for a fingerprint sensor. I don't see any labels or anything for it, but I'm gonna guess that's for the fingerprint sensor. Keyboard backlight connector, keyboard connector. You can see the trackpad connector running underneath here up to there, and then you have this slot, or this connector for the SD card slot here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this hard drive back into place. Again, you do have to put the bottom side in first with those little feet. All right, slide it in, and then we're going to lower it down. You do have to get this cable up and out of the way, so keep that in mind. Okay, and then just push that down. All right, and then this is going to be a little tricky to get back in. I'm going to put it this way, and we're going to try and grab this blue tab here, and you can use that to help guide the connector into the slot. Okay, come on, go in. Go. All right, there we go. Make sure it's in straight, and then just slide your finger over the top to latch it back down. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead now and put the battery back in and see if we have any luck. A lot of times it's just the RAM. So if we're lucky, then that should have solved that. I'm pretty sure it goes this way. I don't know what this crease right here is from, because I can actually see where those dots used to be. So that's the top of the dot there. And oh, I can't see the marks of the other dots, but okay, well. All right, so I'm pretty sure it goes like this. And that's okay. So it probably goes something like this. It sticks there, and then this probably sticks like up there. All right. Okay, let's zoom out again. Okay, and let's get the battery back into place. Same thing, the battery here, the little feet go in first. Okay, so slide that down like this. Okay, you might have to lift it a little to get it into the slot down there. All right, once you get it in, you should be able to drop this down, push that battery into place. All right, and let's get the 4 screws back in. I actually should only put the 2 in the middle for testing, but well, let's get these 3 in, and then we'll try and power it up. If it works, then we'll go ahead and put it back together. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna check the screen on the front end. It didn't work with an external monitor, so I'm not sure what's going on, but anyways, let's open this up. Let's power this on. All right, the power light went on and off. Maybe it needs to be charged, so let me go. Oh, actually, okay, it's turning on. So we'll see what happens. The fan is spinning at max speed right now. Let's see if it actually wakes up. So far nothing's coming on the screen. Okay, we'll leave it like this for a bit. Sometimes when the battery is removed because it reset the BIOS, it's gonna, yep, the power light went off, and then it should turn itself back on. And we'll see if anything comes up. Usually it's the BIOS is resetting, and that's why it's resetting. But if the screen is still having issues, then it's still not going to come up. So if the screen has issues, we're going to have to probably pull this bezel out and see if that cable came loose. If they're lucky, that might be the issue. And I'm thinking that might be the case because there's nothing at all on the screen. There's no lights, nothing. I'll leave it like this a bit longer just to be safe. I'm going to go check on another computer while we're waiting. Okay, and yeah, oh, it shut off again. I don't know if it's going to turn itself back on. Yep, it turned itself back on. Okay, maybe they don't have a BIOS issue. It could be a motherboard issue. I mean, maybe they don't have a screen issue. It might be a motherboard issue. If it keeps restarting like this, then it might be the computer's not actually even booting. I do see the hard drive light is flickering, so it's doing something. The hard drive light is over here, if you're wondering. I know it's blurry, but come on, stay focused right there. Look at that. Okay, so yeah, nothing's happening. I see the hard drive light flickering a little bit, but other than that, nothing's happening. So let's go ahead and actually start popping the screen open. So the way I do that, I go from the inside of the screen here. I think this might be held in place with adhesive, so this might be a risky screen removal process, so you have to be very careful with these kinds of screens. But yeah, that looks like it's going to be tough. The light is still on, but the hard drive light stopped. Oh no, it's blinking every now and then. So maybe it's actually on, but there's nothing on the screen, and for some reason the external monitor doesn't work either. So we're probably going to have to pull the battery out and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power, make it safer to work on, and then we'll see about pulling the screen out. Okay, so let's see if it will even shut down. If I push the power button once, is it doing a shutdown or anything? Okay, it put it into sleep mode. So definitely the computer is on. It's just going into sleep mode. I'm going to try an external monitor again just to see if I can get any display. I'm going to try and shut it down normally. Let me do that and I'll be back. Alright, so that didn't work, so let's go ahead and remove the battery. external monitor, nothing showed up still. So we're gonna see if the screen, maybe it's going into like a recovery repair mode or something, and that's why the screen's not coming up, since it's been probably turned on and off multiple times. All right, let's go ahead and pull the battery back out. Come on, let go. All right, and let's go ahead now and open up the laptop. You want to carefully do this. All right, just open it slowly. And then we're going to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This will make it safer to work on, all right? Especially since we're dealing with the screen, you want to make sure to hold the power button to drain any residual power. Okay, so that's been about 15 seconds or so. Let's go ahead and, just to be safe, we're going to put the bottom cover on, especially since it wasn't too difficult to remove. Okay, just go ahead and snap this all down. All right, then what we're going to do, we're going to open this back up. And let's go ahead and see if we can get the screen assembly off of this. So we have to get underneath here. You do want to use, you can use some plastic pry tools or something, but it is a little bit risky because you can put too much pressure and crack the screen. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling up on the edge, all right, I'm basically twisting it this way and pushing this slightly inwards, okay? I can actually hear adhesive on there, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get this out. Let's go ahead and rotate this. Okay, and then see about pulling from the front edge here. And I might have to use my metal pry tool to kind of just push the screen back to get the adhesive to separate. I do see adhesive in there. Yeah, so let's go ahead and use this. We're going to have to be very careful with it. But I'm going to just get this tool in between the plastic part and the adhesive, and hopefully I can kind of help push it back or at least cut it or something. So let's see, can we cut this adhesive? Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, this adhesive is super strong. I cut like a top edge lip of it, but other than that, I don't think it's coming out. Wow, okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we got between there, and we can go ahead and see about cutting all the adhesive up. Okay. Alright, so now we're just cutting through the adhesive here. I hope that's all we're doing. Okay. Oh, it's separating from the plastic layer. So there's two layers here. That's not going to work right. Okay, so let's see if we can pop this side first. So there's this little edge here in the hinge. I'm going to try and pop that up. Let's see, is it easier to get to while it's closed? Kind of, not really. Okay, let's see if I can get in this edge and pop to separate that hinge. It separates, but then it just goes back together. There we go. Okay, so I'm just getting my fingernail in that little gap there, and then I'm just popping the hinge piece apart. So we're going to try and get that whole thing out. Okay, so we unclip that. Let's see if it stays unclipped when we open it. Okay, so let's see if we can lift it from the bottom side if we're lucky, which I don't think we'll be able to, but let's try it. Okay, and no, that doesn't seem like it's going to work. Okay, because right now what we're lifting is the screen has a circuit board, and then there's a plastic that just wraps around both layers. And if we pull that out, that's not going to work right. It's going to end up just tearing that piece. So we can't open it up from that side. All right, let's go ahead and I guess continue trying from the top. But this is going to be very difficult. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and keep trying to pull on it. It's actually pulling the screen up from the frame. So maybe we can pull the whole screen with the plastic bezel out. As you can see, it actually opened up a little bit here, and it's pulling the screen with it. So I don't know how the screen is secured in place, but I guess we'll find out. Let's go ahead and continue pulling this up. And it's unclipping the It's unclipping the frame again, but it's pulling the screen with it. Alright, this side of the adhesive is coming out a bit, so I think we got our starting point. Okay, but let's continue going. Okay, there we go. Now we got a starting point because this side separated. So we're gonna flip this over this way. This makes it easier for me to work on. Alright, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this forward, and it is held in place. Actually, the screen's not held in place with the thing. Alright, anyways, there's more adhesive down here holding it. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling with my thumb and kind of like twisting it that way. Okay, and you can see it's pulling that out. Okay, I'm gonna continue working our way over here to try and separate the plastic from the screen. So I'm somewhat putting a little pressure, pushing the screen down while I'm kind of pulling this and rotating and twisting this. Okay, so it is pretty difficult to do. So all right, keep in mind if you're doing this, you might end up having to replace the screen. Okay, so getting there. All right, so now we're getting to the bottom part, and the bottom part, as mentioned earlier, it's separating at the wrong spot. I don't know if you can see in there. Yeah, it's really hard to show this, but there's a plastic piece in there, so actually maybe not. I'm confused now. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, here you can see inside here, there's some clear, or the, not clear, but the black plastic piece is getting separated. So, I don't know how I'm going to show this. I'm going to try and get this tool, and we're going to push from behind to push that black plastic stuff back on top of the screen if possible. This makes it hard to do because I'm trying to show it in camera, so I might have to do it off camera, but I'll see what I can do. Okay, try and separate this if it will even work. Doesn't seem to want to work, so we might have to, let's see. Yeah, the adhesive holding that is very strong. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we'll separate this bezel completely, and then we'll worry about separating the plastic part once we get it all separated, so it's easier to maneuver. Okay, actually this side doesn't even want to move. Okay, I don't know, we're gonna have to. Let's see how we can do this. I need a tool that's like can grip like my fingernails, but longer to get in this groove. Let me try with these needle nose pliers. Okay, I'm gonna grab this and see. Right, it's separating a tiny bit, but it's, there we go. Okay, we're getting a little bit of it separated. Okay, wow, this adhesive is super strong. Okay, so kind of don't want to use the pliers too much because it kind of makes creases in the plastic. So let's go ahead and see about peeling this out separately. I know my hand's getting in the way, but I don't know how else to do this. This adhesive is way too strong. So, okay, looks like it's somewhat peeling now. There we go. Okay. So now that we got it started, we can kind of keep working our way over. Just like this. You can see it's peeling up. Or maybe you can, maybe you can't, I don't know. Okay, basically we're going to separate this from the plastic part here. And the hinges down here are very strong, so, okay. Okay, so we're just peeling this slowly. Oh, it's separating two layers now. Okay, looks like it'll work if I just keep working slowly to go this way. Peeling the adhesive and also peeling that layer. Okay, come on. Yeah, this is a huge pain. All right, can we unclip this section down here? No. Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to keep working our way. This side, the clips are still holding, so it's difficult. Okay, maybe now. Okay, we pretty much got the plastic, but it's still pulling a little bit on this, so we have to release all this adhesive here. Okay, there we go. We got the bezel off. Okay, such a bad design. So on top here is a double stick tape layer, and then there's this, just the plastic screen piece by itself. Let me actually see if I can separate the double stick adhesive layer and just take that out. Okay. Right, we're going to take the double stick layer, adhesive layer off of the screen. Alright. So this double stick adhesive layer is not necessary. Right now it's not even really sticky anymore, so I don't think it's going to do much. And then, see, so this protects this circuit board section here. And we're going to go ahead and try and just stick this back on up there. Okay. I might have to actually use some tape to hold that because it looks like that's not going to stick itself. Okay, and this model, to release the screen, it's actually held in place with stretch adhesive. So what we're going to do, we got to get underneath here. Okay, you can see these black tabs over here. We're going to lift that up. Okay, and you can see it's stretchy. So what we're going to do, we have to actually stretch this and pull it straight back. So to do that, I'm going to put the screen up this way, or so that I can make it visible on camera. Then what we're going to do, we're going to pull this out. Okay. Grab that adhesive piece, and you want to stretch it straight back. Okay, so what we're going to do, while the screen is open, we're pulling it through this gap in between, and we're just going to pull this straight back. Hopefully it's not going to tear. This is difficult to do to show on camera, but basically we're just pulling this straight out. I'm using my other finger to kind of lift it a little so it doesn't get snagged on this and get torn. Okay. The other option, actually, that might be easier, is turn it this way. Okay, open the screen all the way, and then what you do is, while you're pulling this, okay, you push this down to make it go flat, and then you just have to keep resetting and doing that. Let's see if it's gonna work, because right now it's not seeming to. Okay, there we go. It's coming out. Again, you want to be very careful with this, because if you tear this, you're gonna have to just destroy the other screen, and possibly you might not even be able to separate it. So we're slowly pulling this. It's scary because it's going over a sharp edge of this piece here. Basically keep pulling it, and again, you want to pull it straight flat with the screen. You don't want to try and pull it at an angle out this way, otherwise it won't work. So what I'm doing is I'm using my thumb to help basically pull it down that direction, and then readjusting, and then continuing. Okay, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Wow, this adhesive is wide. Okay, and just keep pulling with my other hand while I'm kind of pushing this and guiding it. Okay, and just keep going, just keep going. Wow, that's a lot of adhesive in there. I don't even know why they need so much. Okay, so I'm going to let it stretch back a bit. And we're going to continue. I think it's almost done, because now the whole screen is kind of lifting up. Okay, again, you want to keep it flat. You don't want to try and angle it or anything, or you're going to end up getting it messed up. Okay. And once you tear this thing, you're gonna be screwed, so you wanna be very careful. Okay, shoot. Dang, this thing is like way too much adhesive. There we go. Okay, so this is what the adhesive looks like. We accidentally folded a tiny bit of it on itself. If you can try and undo that, but there we go. Actually, it came apart. So, all right, so this is what the adhesive looks like. And you want to be careful not to let it stick on itself. I almost accidentally folded it on itself. And we're just gonna set that aside. I'm just gonna stick it on something else. Okay, for the time being. A little bit of it's folded on itself, so I'm trying to separate that. Okay. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the other side. So same thing, this one also has the stretch adhesive release. So we're gonna peel this, and again, you have to kind of pull it at a straight line down here, okay. Okay, following the same direction as the screen. And you wanna kind of be careful going somewhat slow. You don't wanna rush this, because if you rush it and you tear this, again, you're gonna be permanently stuck with the screen on there. You might have to even replace the whole display assembly if that happens. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna keep doing the same as before, pulling this adhesive back. If you want, you can put a not as aggressive adhesive later. But yeah, for now we have to do that. If you want, you can reuse this adhesive too. And you kind of don't even need the full amount. You can even just cut a piece and just put it, but you have to make sure that you have an exposed piece that you can grab to stretch it to release it. But whenever I work on stuff, I like to try and put it back the same way I got it, so I'm going to try and save the adhesive and put it back exactly the same if possible. Okay. Oh, okay, so the screen released itself. That's going to be a little tricky. Let's see here. Here you can see the adhesive here. And basically what happens as you stretch it, you can actually see here. Oh, I guess it just released anyways. Okay, so there we go. We're going to set that aside. And you can actually see the smooth area here where they actually put the adhesive. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to see if this cable somehow came loose. And if that's the case, it might be why the screen isn't coming up. Okay, so this is tough to get underneath. Let me see, what tool can I use to get this out? We're gonna try with this little plastic pick here, since we can kind of get under the corner edge here. Once you get an edge, you can kind of go ahead and just peel this up. Okay, and this is sticking here. There are some part model numbers here if you need them, but you do want to check your screen and not just go based off this, because some people have different stuff. But here you go. Okay, that's the LCD LVDS model number. Here's the screen HP replacement part number, L24375-001, I think. Oh, actually it's a 76, sorry. L24376-001, and here's the actual LCD panel model number, LP156WFG-SPF2. Okay, if for some reason you broke your screen, hopefully that information will help. Let's go ahead now and see about peeling this all up. Okay, that's not tearing right, so let's try and go from this other side. Okay, grab that. Yeah, it's just tearing. Okay, so this adhesive sucks. Alright, so we're gonna slowly, carefully, I kind of like to wobble it, as you can see. Okay, there we go, we got most of it. And then there's actually a clear adhesive underneath, I think. Let's see here. Okay, actually there isn't. But the screen seems to be in place, so I don't think it's going to be a loose connection. So this screen has a little latch. You lift that up, and then you can go ahead and pull this back. It comes out just like that. All right, anyways, we're going to go ahead and reseat this connection here. Just click that back into place. Flip this latch back down. Okay, and then we're going to just stick this adhesive piece back on. Okay, and then let's zoom out. We're going to go ahead and just put the screen back up for now. Okay, the adhesive is kind of annoying. It's pulling on this. All right, so I don't know if this kind of yanked some of that out. I don't see where this, oh, this is for the webcam cable, so it looks like that's just how it is. I don't know why they have so much extra slack here. That's just in the screen area. Okay, and here's this plastic flap that I was telling you that I was worried about. So I don't know if replacing the screen will solve the problem that they're having or not. Let's go ahead now and try putting the battery back in. Okay, we're gonna pull the bottom cover back off again. I'm gonna use the suction cup here, and hopefully we can just pull this back out again. Nope, it's being difficult. So let's go ahead and close this. Oh, there's a plastic clip thing that's broken off here. Okay, let's try and pop this open again. Okay, there we go. I did have to kind of put my fingernail in there a little bit to help it. That popped the clip, I think. All right, we're gonna set the cover aside. Let's go ahead and get the battery in and power it up and see if anything changed. Okay, I'm just gonna put the one screw here because that one's the closest to holding the battery in place. All right, and let's go ahead and open this up and power it on. Make sure that the screen isn't sticking to it, of course. And let's see if we got any change. We'll power it up and we'll let it sit. All right, the power light's gonna keep going on and off like that. And yeah, I'll check another computer while that's doing its thing. Okay, so it's restarting multiple times, and I still don't see anything on the screen, so I'm not too sure what needs to be done here. Right now the hard drive light isn't blinking, so I guess it's not booting up yet. So we'll wait and see when the hard drive light starts blinking again. If nothing happens, usually I think at this point it should be showing that the BIOS or CMOS has been reset, and then it tells you like to press enter or something. So okay, the screen or the computer just turned off again. Let's see if it turned itself back on. Yes, it did. But still I see absolutely nothing at all on the screen. And I do see the hard drive light is flickering. So I don't know if that's a dead LCD panel or something else. It could be a dead LCD panel. It could be something on the motherboard end. But yeah, we're probably gonna just put this back together for now, and we'll see. I don't know if I should even put this piece. It doesn't really do anything. Maybe I can use it just to kind of like tape this onto the LCD panel. It's hard to line that up that way. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Nope, so we're just gonna toss this double stick adhesive stuff away. All right, and yeah, nothing's happening with the screen, so I think we're gonna stop there. Let's shut this off. I'm gonna show you how to put the adhesive back on. I'm gonna let the customer know. I'll check what the cost of a replacement screen costs, but I guess we'll see what from there, if it's gonna be worth it or not. Okay, so to put the adhesive back on, we're gonna have to have this up this way, and you wanna be careful because the screen is gonna like try and flop itself down. Okay, so I'm gonna open it like this. And I'm going to keep some weight on the screen so it doesn't fall over. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the old adhesive here. And you kind of want to try and line it up. You can see it actually lines up with this piece here. So the way it has the cuts, I'm going to try and get it lined up the same exact way. It might be slightly stretched out, so keep that in mind. If it doesn't sit completely flat in the same original spot, that's somewhat to be expected, okay? Yeah, so this is kind of, we're going to have to tilt this in this way, and then get that in, and then now there's a bubble here, so we're going to have to like somehow slowly work this bubble down into it, and if there's too much, we might have to cut the excess off. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create some pressure so it kind of squeezes itself back together, but as you can see, it's kind of not wanting to do it that well. Okay, and then this end, yeah, so we're probably gonna have to like cut this stuff a bit to make it fit properly if it doesn't want to fit, but let's go ahead and see. Come on, get in. So I'm trying to create some back pressure in here where it kind of pushes in on itself a little. Uh-oh. Nope, don't want it to roll on itself. Might be good enough. It looks like I can kind of flatten it. Okay, and there. So we got that one in. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Again, I have to keep pressure so the screen, the bottom back end doesn't fall over. Okay, so we're going to start with the bottom this time because that seems to make it easier to line up everything. Okay, try to push this in a little. Okay, stick that in, and there we go. Make sure it all sits flat, and let's go ahead and close this back up. So we're going to roll this back over. Make sure that, before you stick it down, make sure you get the top corner in first. So, so I'm getting this top corner edge in, and then we're going to same thing over here, and then you can go ahead and drop it and let the rest kind of stick and fall into place. Okay. I'm going to flip this back over now, and then we're going to go ahead and get this bezel and stick that back on. So get this in, okay, and then we're going to work our way over. So I'm going to click the tops in first. Okay, same thing, I'm kind of rolling it in that way to get the clips to go in. Okay, and this adhesive is kind of sticking out, so I want to hide that. So let's go ahead and push that back over. Okay, same thing, work your way over, work your way down, work your way down. Okay, make sure that stays hidden underneath. Alright, then we get down here. And because this is somewhat raised off from the table, we're going to have to lift it up this way. Okay, and then we're going to kind of work our way like this, pushing from the bottom side, just like this. Get some pressure on the back with your other hand, make sure, and then just work your way across the bottom. And then you can also, from the back here, pinch these down. Okay, and that looks good. And then this top part usually holds in with the adhesive. So right now, because the adhesive is screwed up, we're going to just leave it slightly open like that. Okay, and Alright, if you want, you can close this slightly to make it easier, and then you can push that. But again, the adhesive was holding that, so it's just going to be sticking up like that until we replace it. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and put the bottom cover back on. I'm going to have to see with the customer what they want to do, if they want to replace the screen or not. And I don't know if the screen will fix it, so I'm going to have to check if there's a way I can get a screen that I can actually return if it doesn't work, because if it doesn't work, that's an expensive piece. Oops, I forgot to put the rest of the battery screws back in. So let's go ahead and pull that back up. Alright, and put those screws back in. And then we just gotta, we'll see. I'll see if I can order a screen on Amazon to test it, because if it is a screen that's, since I already took it out, it's not gonna be too bad of a fix. But if I do have to do something else, then that's going to suck. Again, the LCD LVDS connector is underneath this part here. Actually, I wonder if I can take this metal bracket off. Let's try taking that screw out. And take this screw out and see if that comes out separately or if it's permanently. Okay, this is coming up slightly. Okay, I think we have to also take out these two up here. And hopefully you can remember where these screws came from if you're taking them out. Okay, can we get this out? Nope, I don't know what's holding it down. Oh, we'd have to take like the whole motherboard out, I think. Huh. I don't really get how that's being held. There's another screw here. Is that holding it? Nope. Does this come off? Oh, this whole wing comes off, it looks like. Maybe, possibly. Wow, okay. So, let's get this out of the way for now, a little bit. And see, it's kind of wiggling. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this plastic, or this back piece comes off. And then we can get this off. But the LCD connector is still under there. It doesn't look like it's loose or anything, so I don't think that's an issue. So I'm just going to put this back. Alright. Sorry, just wasting your time. But if you need to, I guess now you will know how to redo the thermal paste. You have to take this out on both sides. Okay. Alright, let me actually put these screws back in. Okay, put that in. Actually, I think this screw goes in there, so let's keep this off for now. Okay, then we'll get this lined back up. So this piece goes on to here again. This is tricky. How do you get, okay, there we go. So it's a little tricky to get this piece back on. You kind of just have to work it in, work the angles in. Okay. Yeah, this is tricky. How do I get this back on? Huh. Okay, so this has like some little sliding mechanism up here. So it should just slide into place on top. So once you get everything lined up, then we should be able to just slide it down. Assuming everything is lined up. Okay, I guess we have to kind of pull this up a little because it has little nibs that stick out. And I think that's in. Nope. Why is this side not in right? What is going on here? Okay, well, let's lift this back up and take it back off. Oh, this piece. So these pieces are kind of coming out because of those nibs. I don't know why it's not going on right. Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay, so this has a plastic piece that sticks out that needs to go up on top over this piece. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky. So this has to go, and you have to get this part lined up with the hinge here. So it's multiple pieces of things that you have to kind of focus on at the same time. Makes it really tricky. This got to be pulled up this way. Okay, there we go. And then once you get that in, I think we can kind of pull this all up and get that. There we go. All right. Okay, let's go ahead now and get these screws back in. This screw back in. Okay, and this screw back in. There we go. And now let's just go ahead and put everything else back together. So the only thing I would try is maybe another screen. So I'll see what the screen costs. Chances are the screen, depending on the specs, is going to be anywhere from $100 to like $250. So we'll see what's going on. And then we'll see if the customer wants to fix it. Total price of the repair probably is going to run them somewhere around $250 to $300-ish, or maybe $350. So we'll see. They'll have to decide if it's worth it or not. They said this computer's just been sitting around for a few months, so we'll see. Let's get all the rest of these screws in. Okay, I'll have to see what the screen costs, but most likely it'll be around that price estimate. There are some rare cases where screens are extra, like close to 300, but most of them are around the 100 to 200 something, 250 range. And in most cases they're close to the 100 range, so we'll see. All right, but that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others, so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this spike.